Hello, very good afternoon. Welcome to this first live session on fundamentals of AI for the 2022 batch. Now, lectures are already online, so many of you must be looking at these lectures. Assignments have been put as well, so you may be really looking at the assignments. We had circulated a sheet where you were supposed to put your queries before I came live. But then unfortunately, the number of queries that have been asked is very minimal there. There are only around 7 people who have responded, and of them, query related to the course are only 3. So I will definitely address them. Meantime, if you have any query, I would request you to put it as a chat, and I would address directly from the chat. Now, let me take the queries that were there. So one of the first query was about kindly include tutorial and problem solving session in the course, which helps to answer assignments and exams. Tutorials and problem solving sessions are, of course, not there, but taking your clue, I would assure you that in the monthly interaction, next month when I'm coming live again, I will do a tutorial on one of the topics that you want me to do on problem solving. Possibly first order logic is what will start soon. So possibly that or any other topic of your interest. Please write to me in my email, personal email, or the email for the course. Please write what sort of tutorials you would love to have, and that we will do. Second query is about the lecture content. Presentation contains difficult words. Please use simple common usage words for better understanding. I'll try my best to keep the lecture simple, and many of the jargons as it is, I am trying to avoid. But then at times it is very difficult to put it in plain terms. I will try my best. I have taken your suggestion and to my heart. The third query is by Arupananda Parida, who is a student. The first 2 were faculty members. So their suggestions are well taken. We will definitely try to work on it. The first query from a student is, which is good path in AI? I have a difficulty understanding the question in the first place, but the next portion of the questions makes it clear, which says that what to do myself for get AI? What are the opportunities? Please give me suggestion to achieve AI. I'm a bit lost with what you want, Mr. Parida. But my suggestion to you would be that if you can successfully complete all the modules of this AI course, you would have your first stepping stone towards artificial intelligence. Now, this course is developed in a manner to be inclusive, in the sense that the design of the course has been done for people who have no exposure to artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, or such emerging topics. So if you look at the course very carefully, you'll see that the course grows from very fundamental basic topics, starting at state space search, moving to knowledge representation and reasoning, doing first order logic, in great depth. And then we move on to planning. And the final module of the course introduces you to machine learning. So it is supposed to initiate you into AI, talk of really traditional methods, well-established algorithms, processes of representation and reasoning, and then exposes you in the final module to emerging areas of machine learning. So, Mr. Pareda, my request would be that if you do this course well, it would be a good starting point. But then be aware that this is only the first stepping stone. You need to do many things in particularly machine learning to complete this exposure. So with this exposure on fundamentals of artificial intelligence, your next stepping stone would be a full course on machine learning. And then you'd be possibly ready to take up any challenge in artificial intelligence. To add to what you have written there, a good path in AI or what to do myself, I would suggest that if you are very good at programming or if you have exposure to programming, then it would be a good idea to do my assignments, the final questions in the assignment, the final 2-3 questions that I give, where you are supposed to do some form of computation, but those computations are very simple. You could do a hand simulation, but then you could also write programs for them and do it via a program. So that would be a good exposure to you if you are interested in machine learning and artificial intelligence. Then there is this final portion that you have highlighted. What are the opportunities in artificial intelligence? Now, I need not even state it here for most of you, but then and robotics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning is going to change the way we live in the next 5 to 10 years. Things are getting connected in a very fast manner. We are moving towards what is called cyber physical systems, and the world is moving towards industry 4.0. That's the next industrial revolution, if you want it to be put that way, which is going to make a artificial intelligence part of everyday living. So as for opportunities, there would be immense opportunity. And this effort of bringing in an inclusive course on AI is towards that goal of generating as many people in AI as possible. So that's what the attempt is about. Then there is a question by Balaji Nayak. So unfortunately, his question didn't appear in the query list. All it appears is my name. So if Balaji, you are attending the online session, then I would request you to put your question on the chat box so that I can take it after I have taken the next questions. Then there is Madani Lokeshwar, who wants to find out whether artificial intelligence has the ability to transform itself for the user. Now, that's an interesting question. We call such systems that transform itself as adaptive systems. And in my first lecture, when I was trying to trace the history of artificial intelligence, I did the talk of such systems. Like, let me give you an example. If I have a robot that's possibly is supposed to interact with people and with people who are let's say not very active and cognitively slow, then the robotic system that's interacting needs to slower down its pace to come to the level of the interaction of the person. And such systems are called adaptive when they change with the user in place. And that is of course possible, and that's the aim of such machines. That's what artificial intelligence is about. Okay, the final question on the list was by Niti Sharma, which talks of please explain constraint heuristics and what is the main difference between an algorithm or A star algorithm. Okay, so let me start by telling you that I have given this lecture on A star in the very beginning of this course, where we had talked of state space search. Now, A and A star both are best first search algorithms. Now, best search algorithms uses is what is called a heuristic function, a function to compute some form of promise of a node that it is trying to expand next. And that function is written in two parts. One part is the cost of coming from the start to the current node, and the other is an estimate of going from the current to the goal node. So that is written, if you remember, as f equal to g plus n. Now, when I use this as a heuristic function, one should realize that I have a complete knowledge of G. That's the amount of resources or that's the cost of coming to the current node from the start node. And H is an estimate of going to the goal from the current. So that use of that function f equal to g plus h is then the algorithm is called A. But then and h is an estimate, and therefore I can write h as h star, and the cost g. If I can get the optimal cost of coming to that current node, I can write g as g star. So now my function becomes f equal to g star plus h star. G star is the optimal cost of coming to that node, and h star is the best estimate of going to the goal from the current node. In reality, this is not possible. I cannot have the best estimate of going to the goal from the current node using a knowledge dependent information, which is the heuristics. So I'm looking for keeping h star as low as possible. Okay. And when I use such an h that is as low as possible with g star, which is the actual optimal cost after reaching the goal, I end up creating what is called the A star algorithm. So let me just go back to that lecture to really clear you that fundamental that you were talking of in terms of the in terms of the fundamentals that you were that we were trying to really yes, it says a lot of things, but I think I'll be fine. Yeah, okay. So I can share a PDF with them. So let me share a window, and I have shared the PDF with them. So that should be visible to you. And so in this series of things, I did teach you about the A star algorithm and the A algorithm, how we reach the A algorithm. So just give me 1 minute and I will take you through that idea that I was talking to you about. Okay. So can you I don't know if somebody can respond in the chat if my slides are visible to them. Is it visible to you? My slides? No, they are not. Okay, let me try to share. Where is the PDF live session PowerPoint? The PDF is not visible. Should be visible. That one. This one. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Window, if I go. Oh, you are sharing the whole screen? Okay, but that's the PPT. It's not the PPT that I want. I know what has happened. PDF tonight. Share corridor. Okay, so I think it's visible right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you, Vijay. So if you look at the evaluation function, that's what I was talking to. It is made up of two parts, F and G. And you have G, the cost so far, or of coming to the current node, and you have H, the estimated cost. And when you use that function, then it is the A algorithm. But when you replace these is estimates by the real estimates, okay, and you do not know the real estimate in reality, you cannot have the real estimate in reality. So all you are looking for G being the optimal function, and so G star and H star are being a value which is a lower bound, then you end up creating in the A star algorithm. So this is the difference between the A star and the A algorithm. Okay, so that's roughly it. So that's all from the Google Drive sheet that we had circulated for people. And now let me take questions from the chat for you. One of the questions that I get, or a comment that I get, is I am not good in computer programming. So I have stopped the share. Now can you see me? I'll stop presenting. Can you see me now? My face?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Okay. Yes, so that, okay, thank you. So Walter is writing, I am not good in computer programming. For this course, we are not emphasizing very strongly that you need to know programming or you need to be good at programming. I want this course to be inclusive in the sense that people who are not very strong in programming can at least gather the fundamentals of artificial intelligence, pick up an area of their interest, and then develop their programming skills and take this interest further. So nothing wrong in not being good in programming for this course, but I would emphasize that if you are really interested in AI, then you should also simultaneously or after this course, take up programming seriously and develop your programming skills so that you can apply many of the fundamentals that are being taught in this course and make use of it. Now, a little while ago, I told this and I repeat it here again, that in the assignments, many of them, you'll see the final 3-4 questions would be one that would be comprehensive in the sense that it will try to give you a scenario or a situation where you would have to apply an algorithm to get the answer. Now, the algorithm that you try to use or apply, you could do enhanced simulation and get to the answers and answer the 3 questions. But then this is a trigger for people interested in programming and really honing their AI skills to really write programs and get to the answers instead of hand simulating in the answers for the final 3-4 comprehensive questions that I give. So that would grow your programming skills. Manoj Kumaresh, he has written that I am a mechanical engineer and have no knowledge about programming. Do I need to learn programming to go further in the course? Manoj, I think you have almost got the answer, but then let me repeat it for you. Learning programming and knowing programming is important if you want a career in artificial intelligence or machine learning. But this course has been designed in such a way that you can live with it. For this course, you don't need to know programming in and out, but knowing programming would definitely help you understand many of the fundamentals, because I will be talking of many algorithms as we go about. In fact, if you have done your first week course, then you must have seen that we did a problem solving by search, where I had talked of doing best first search, and then I have used some data structures as called lists, where I said you have to create an open list and a closed list, and then take items from one and put to the other. So these type of things you can hand simulate for now and live with in this course. But in the long run, if you have to take an AI option as a career or really work on AI problems, then it is important that you really understand programming. So my emphasis to you would be to really do some programming courses together with this AI course, if possible. Otherwise, definitely take up programming later on if you want a career in AI. Sir, next question is by Shubham. Shubham asks, sir, where to practice along with this course? That's a good question. Where would you practice? So one is definitely my queries that I try to address, as you can put your queries and do a practice as thing on your own and give us questions to be answered. Or if you're interested, you can write me a personal mail and up a term project. But this would require a huge amount of programming skill for you. And I would definitely define a project for you, in which case you can complete the project with me during the duration of this course. So options are to practice on your own, do it on the forum with a lot of questions, a lot of other resources available on the net, or get a project that covers most of the concepts being taught here, and that you would love to complete with me. But then be warned that the project would definitely be something that would demand a lot of programming skills and would definitely expose you to a higher amount of AI than the course. So, Shantosh Kumbhakar, sir, how to make chat box? Please, sir, guide me. Shantosh, if you are interested in chat boxes like Eliza or other chat boxes, then the next modules coming to you is very important. Knowledge representation and reasoning is what we are going to cover in the next few weeks. And therein, we will do first order logic, where we will ask you to represent facts, and then from the given facts, find out certain new facts. And we will first convert English language to first order logic statements, and then work with this first order logic statements to generate new facts from that, or what we call theorems. And we will not leave at that. We will then teach you how to use this theorem tree or the proof tree as it is called to really get an answer. And that answer is again a tree search over this representation and the theorem proof. And that at the proof tree and the answer extraction tree should be able to do a lot of answering. Like if I talk to you saying, I go, or I say something like, my dog goes wherever I go. Okay. So this is one statement. My dog goes wherever I go. I am in IIT Guwahati now. Where is my dog? So for you, it is very simple that the dog is in IIT Guwahati because wherever I go, my dog goes. So such problems, if a machine has to do, you have to do a number of representation here. One, that I'm talking about me and my dog. These are objects. Then there are facts that I go wherever my dog follows us, and that has to be represented. And then I should be able to prove that there exists a place where I am, and that place is the same place where my dog is. And once that is possible, I should be able to extract the name of the place that's IIT Guwahati. And these sort of things we will teach you in the next module, where we will do knowledge representation and reasoning and first order logic. And that will allow you, I'm sure, to make chat boxes. So be very attentive for the next weeks and the subsequent weeks. We have 2 weeks of knowledge representation reasoning using first order logic, where we will do representation first and then proofs within the representation. Proofs are nothing but really figuring out new facts. And then we will do answer extraction within that. And so that you would be doing in the next few days. I think that will help you in writing in chatbots. So someone says, Walter, thank you, sir. Which programming language we should learn parallel to this course? Your suggestion. Programming languages are so many to pick up, but one that you cannot beat today is Python. So you can do Python and be very sure of how to do AI later or ML. So that could be a good pick, Mr. Walter. Sir, how to interact or ask doubts regarding projects? Okay, so you can interact using the discussion forum on the NPTEL MOOCs platform. My teaching assistants, there are 3 teaching assistants in this course, which many of you must have realized. We have Aviljit De, we have Hirokjuti Basumatari, and we have Nilavjuti Horma, 3 technical assistants on this course who are really answering your queries is on the discussion forum. And then I am there addressing your queries as well. So the best bet here is your discussion forum. That helps others also to really see what is being asked and what is being discussed. And if you have any difficulty where discussion forum queries are not being resolved and you are not satisfied, you are free to write an email to me at my address. My email address is s.m.hazarika@iitg.ac.in, which is available in most of the slides, and you must be already aware of this. Next question is by Venica James Lopez, which says, will this course be beneficial enough to be added in resume? I don't understand what do you mean by beneficial enough. This is very subjective. If you are from a computer science background from one of the IITs, this course is a cakewalk. Okay. Most of the thing that will be taught in the course, they will have done in the course itself. For CS people from other colleges, as I cannot vouch for, and I'm not saying it would not be cakewalk for them, neither I'm saying it would be difficult for them. I don't know how it would fare for other people from other places. But if you are somebody who is doing traditional engineering courses and you have never been exposed to AI before, or I see this as your first step to the world of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the rest of the things that comes with it. So this could be a very good point on your CV if you are looking at as your starter to a career in AI. Thank you, Mr. Walter, who believes that this course will definitely be beneficial to be added in the resume. Now let me take the other question. This is by Shantosh Kumbhakar again. So, sir, basically I do some work on chatbot, but I have some issues like chatbot unable to give right answer. So which algorithm should I have to try? So this is something that I was trying to emphasize. It depends on how you are trying to extract the answer from the chatbot. I don't know what you are doing, Mr. Santosh, but if you are just trying to do some string matching and get the answers, then this would be a very poor algorithm to be used for chatbot. But if you're really looking for answer extraction plus as really a form of restricted domain chatting, then representation of the problem would be very, very important. And therefore, I would ask you to go through this representation and reasoning portion of the course that I am doing starting this week and the next. And thereafter, you are free to write emails to me in my personal email as well as in the discussion forum, and we can take the discussion forward. But please attend the representation and reasoning, knowledge representation and reasoning lectures first. Kamalesh. So Kamalesh says, sir, I am a working professional, graduate in mechanical engineering. How I can make most of this course as I have minor knowledge of computer science. Kamalesh, this course is designed for people like you. Okay. So being in mechanical engineering has an advantage. You are strong in maths, and AI ML is nothing but maths in a different format. Okay, so that's what you should look at it. So all of these algorithms, all of these fundamentals that I'm going to talk of would make sense to you, because many of these examples would be from engineering. And if you're a working professional already, your maturity and exposure would even be an advantage. So this course is something that you should do and carry forward. Now, to encourage you, last year the topper of the course was NPTEL also releases the toppers list. Okay, if you have a very good scores and you are among the first 5, it releases as a toppers list. Last year's toppers, if you see, there are people from the industry who have taught this because of the very fact that they are matured people. They know what I'm talking of in the examples. They can make more sense of the AI algorithms of planning, AI algorithms of reasoning that we do in the later part of the course. And therefore, I think this adds to their advantage. Now, as for our minor knowledge of computer science, I don't know what you mean by minor knowledge, but if you are aware of things like algorithms, some form of data structures, that would be brilliant. So that that should be a good start point. So Kamalesh, just to take this discussion forward, programming language knowledge for this portion of the course or your exposure to AI, I am somehow keeping it very restricted to only giving algorithms and that too in a very lucid way uh, using just some form of words that are meaningful to the program being happening inside. So I'm not even borrowing words from programming jargons like do while loops or things like that. I'm just trying to keep the things to its basic bare minimum. So I don't think not having exposure to programming language would be any form of obstacle. So Shantosh Kumbhakar, just to take your final chat writing on the board that to make data set, how should we have to approach to make good data set or we have to choose other formats of data set. Now these bits and pieces as piecemeal advice would not be very good because I need to understand what you are trying to develop in the chatbot and what sort of data set you are creating, how is strings being retrieved. So I would suggest you please write these into my personal email if you are really getting impatient and not to wait another week to hear from me on the course and then do it. You can do it right now. I would get back to you in great detail. Okay. You write a detailed mail to me. What is your data set and what is your input output to the chatting program? What type of matching you are doing to really extract answers? Okay, just having a data set of facts is not good enough because finding out what is being asked is non-trivial. Okay, for the chatbot. So just picking up a string and doing some string matching and trying to answer the question and expecting the question to be in a proper format, it will not give you a good chatbot. So how is your input to the chatbot? How is the output to the chatbot? How is data being stored in the chatbot? How is keywords being extracted for extracting things from the data set so that you know what is happening. So if you can really send all these details to me, we can have some form of communication over email and take this discussion forward. Please do that, Mr. Santosh Kumbhakar. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the chats. Any more chat questions if you have? I would be really pleased to take this discussion forward. So if there are no more questions, I am not sure if we need to wait for more questions to come. So Kumbhakar says, sir, next time can I share my screen? No, you are not allowed to share your screens. So that's why I said, if you want a discussion with me, Mr. Kumbhakar, you should write a personal mail to me and then I will have a personal meeting with you, which could be over Google or over Teams, but that would be personal and I'll then see the chatbot. Right now, I have to restrict myself to the rules and regulations of NPTEL MOOCs, where the live session is only for me to share the screen. So, Mr. Kumbhakar, I can see the chats that you have written to me. Maybe this is visible to all. So you kindly write details with me. Okay. Okay, now I can see another question coming from Shomeshwar Vakra. So what is the future of AI? Uh, so what is the future of AI? I little while ago did tell you that robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning is going to change the way we live, work, our, and do our day-to-day activities. AI, I'm sure, in the next 5 to 10 years is going to be part of your daily living activities if it is already not there. For many people, it is becoming a part of their life where they have smart watches telling them how much they have taken steps and how much they should run today to burn the calories. And then there is programs for them to remind and that the microwave in their home needs to be switched off and things like that, or what music to play when they are entering with a bad mood. Or there are AI programs already when you tend to sleep off, the car engine switches off. All these things are already there, if not commonplace, but at least in many places. What would happen in the days to come is that artificial intelligence together with Internet of robotic things would make a connected world. And we would create in most places the cyber physical systems where we will have communication and control and information and holding the key to most of the work being done, maybe in the industry, maybe in your office, or maybe in hospitals. And this would definitely augment our capabilities or augment our efficiency levels. And we will have a better uh, and more inclusive society. That's what I believe in. Let's see how things take shape. But the future of AI is very bright, if I have to say it in one sentence. Then there is one final question by Sneha Shavan, who says, sir, exam format, please. So the final exam, is that what you are talking of? If you are talking of the final exam, then the final exam would be of 100 marks. It would have 3 different sections of things. Uh, 3 different sections of things. One would be a simple recall type of questions, which would be based on whatever has been spoken in the videos. You just need to remember to answer them. Other portion would be questions that have been already asked to you in the assignments. Okay, so that would be other portion of the questions. And then there would be a final portion of the question which would be comprehensive in the sense that they would be questions that would cover topics already in the assignment, topics already in the videos, and beyond that to test your higher order skills. Okay, and it would have even and things like solving certain small problems by hand simulation and then giving the answers that you must have done in assignment 1 or assignment 2. I'm not sure or which assignments will have such things, but you'll have enough practice of this in your assignments. So as for the exam format, it would be objective, it would be online and for you, and online in the sense that there would be no pen paper exam, and it will have 3 sections of questions as already I have clarified. Now, having said that, the recall questions and the questions that are already there in the assignments are something for which you should not have any preparation. But the other question and would definitely need it to be prepared. So I have in my first lecture told you a couple of books on which this course is very much aligned with. So you can pick up one of these books that I have discussed or listed at least in the syllabus of the course. That will help you to do the exams well. I hope that answers your question, Sneha Chavan. Okay, thank you. So yes, if there are any more queries, we can take it. Else, we will stop this interactive session now and again come live in 3 to 4 weeks time to have another interaction. And these are not the only interactions. If you need more interaction and with us, then please use the discussion forum. And if discussion forum discussions do not satisfy you, you're free to really write back to me in my personal email and I would get back to you. Thank you very much. So time for exam, I think the exam dates, time, format, everything is there in the NPTEL web pages. As you should look up that, okay? Now, if you read the NPTEL web page, this is to answer Kasharappu Appaluraju. If you look at the NPTEL web page, it says what is the minimum that you must score in the exam as well as in the assignments to get a completion certificate or a better grade. So yes, assignment submission is compulsory if you have to have a grade at the end of the day. If it is only for you without any care about a grade sheet from us, then you may not submit the assignments. But if you are looking for clearing this exam, then we have a certain portion and that needs to be coming from certain portion of the score that needs to be coming from the assignment. Okay. So I don't know what is this question. What about week 0 assignments? So can you be more elaborate on what do you mean by what about week 0 assignments? Valencia James Lopes. Venetia James Lopes, sorry. So what do you mean by that? If you go and see the week 0 assignment was just for you to really get used to the system. So and nothing was there. So that would definitely not count. We are counting from week 1 to week 10 when, okay, I now get it. So week 0 assignment marks would not count. All that will count is from week 1 to week 10. Week 0 was to expose you to how the assignments are to be submitted, which are the possibilities of assignments, because we have very interesting type of assignments. It's not only multiple choice questions, which is about selecting one option. Many times the questions are also multiple select in the sense that of the 4 options given to you, 3 may be correct and you have to select all 3 for getting the marks. If you select only 2, you are still evaluated as wrong. The assignment question is still evaluated as wrong. So multiple select is a very tricky question where you have to really select all the options available to really get the marks for that question. And therefore, week 0 was just an exposure to how these things work. So it would definitely not be counted. As for exam being online, offline, that would be declared by NPTEL depending on how the scenario unfolds. You should look up the NPTEL web pages for that. But definitely it's not a pen paper exam. It would be an exam where you are supposed to do it via some interface where you could select or write onto a given space. Definitely not pen paper, whether offline, online. You should get back to the NPTEL web pages for more details. Okay, then, if there are no more queries, let's call it a day. Have a wonderful evening ahead, brilliant weekend, and let's meet in another 4 weeks' time for the next interaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.